Hello everybody. Till now we have watched videos about how to set up NIV and adjust it according to clinical situation. But before that we must know when to initiate NIV and when we should go directly for intubation without NIV. So for this purpose, clinical examination together with lab parameters will help you to decide need of NIV. So respiratory rate more than 24 breaths per minute, axillary muscle use, paradoxical breathing. If any two of these three present together with PaCO2 more than 45 and pH less than 7.35, that is nothing but ventilatory failure, or PaO2 by FiO2 ratio less than 200, that is hypoxemia. So if any of the two clinical scenarios together with one of the lab parameter is present, that is indication for NIV starting. So patient may land in above scenario in either acute conditions or in chronic conditions. So acute conditions are like acute exacerbation of COPD, asthma, hypoxemic respiratory failure like pneumonia, ARDS, chest trauma, and cardiogenic pulmonary edema. So chronic conditions will land in above situation in conditions like restrictive thoracic lung disease, chronic stable COPD, cystic fibrosis, and nocturnal hypoventilation like OSA, central sleep apnea, and obesity hypoventilation syndrome. And one more indication for NIV is in post-extubation patients to reduce the work of breathing for some time. So these are the indications for NIV, but even if the patient satisfies above clinical and lab criteria, in the following condition NIV is contraindicated or it should not be used in following conditions. So number 1, respiratory arrest. Number 2, hemodynamical instability. Number 3, altered sensorium, that is patient cannot protect airways. Number 4, excessive secretions. Number 5, impaired cough and swallowing. Number 6, uncooperative patient. Number 7, brain injury with unstable respiratory drive. So what are the complications that arises with use of NIV and how to deal with them? So number 1, mask discomfort. So we have to check for the proper size and adjust the size according to his face. So number 2, excessive leaks around the mask. Switch mask style, and that means use a mask with another style. So number 3, pressure source. Used soft dressing over the nostril bridge. Number 4, nasal or oral dryness. Increase the humidification. Gastric distension. Use lowest pressures possible. Aspiration. Proper selection of the patient should be done. Mucus plugging. Allow short breaks from NIV to cough out secretions from the patient. So along with the above complications, so the positive pressure ventilation used during a NIV poses extra complications, and these complications are not only for NIV but also for invasive ventilation. These are due to PEEP used during NIV and invasive ventilation. So number 1, decreased venous return. So it directly correlates with the mean airway pressures, and decreased venous return will decrease the cardiac output and it decreases the BP and causes the hypotension to the patient. So this disadvantage is used as an advantage in cardiogenic pulmonary edema, as decreased venous return will decrease preload on the heart. So number 2 complication is barotrauma. So PEEP greater than 10 centimeters of H2O, P-mean greater than 30 centimeters of H2O, and peak inspiratory pressure more than 50 centimeters of H2O is associated with increased incidence of alveolar rupture. That is nothing but barotrauma. It leads to pneumothorax, pneumopericardium, pneumoperitoneum, and pneumomediastinum. Subcutaneous emphysema or crepitus is a sign of barotrauma. It should be identified early to prevent further damage. So number 3 complication is increased intracranial pressure. So PEEP will decrease venous return from cerebral circulation. So it will increase the intracranial pressure, as it will lead to stay of blood in the cerebral circulation. So in cerebrovascular accidents and head injury patients, use low PEEP levels to prevent rise in intracranial pressure from high PEEP values. So number 4 complication is renal dysfunction. So decreased venous return will decrease the cardiac output. That cardiac output impairs the renal blood flow, so that will impair filtration. So when to discontinue NIV? NIV can be discontinued in 2 scenarios, either for weaning off from NIV or for going for intubation by discontinuing NIV. So when to and how to wean off from NIV? So there are no proper guidelines as such for determining weaning off from NIV, but weaning off can be considered when patient is hemodynamically stable and maintaining adequate PaO2, PCO2 and pH with minimum settings of pressure support and PEEP, and the condition that is causing acute respiratory failure has been reversed. So So NIV can be discontinued by taking the patient off from the NIV for a short periods of time with supplemental oxygen during the time. So during this time, we have to monitor for respiratory distress by measuring respiratory rate and use of axillary muscles and paradoxical breathing. So if respiratory rate is acceptable and there is no paradoxical breathing and no axillary muscle use, then lengthen the periods of time off from the ventilator and then gradually shift to oxygen support by lengthening the duration from off to the ventilator. So if respiratory distress is seen during this off time during NIV, so don't remove NIV and continue NIV support. In chronic conditions, if patient satisfies acceptable respiratory rate and no paradoxical breathing and no axillary muscle use, so better to continue nocturnal NIV support after recovering from the acute exacerbations. So in second scenario, when to go for intubation in a patient with NIV support. So if patient has a following scenario, then we can go for intubation directly from NIV support. So number 1, worsening pH and PCO2. Number 2, SpO2 less than 90%. Number 3, respiratory rate more than 30 breaths per minute. Number 4, hemodynamical instability. Number 5, decreased level of consciousness. Number 6, unable to clear secretions. So in some conditions, we should not go for NIV and we should go directly for intubations. So such scenarios are hemodynamical instability, decreased level of consciousness and unable to clear the secretions, cardiac arrest and respiratory arrest. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos like this.